Okay, now we start the end of term two review, module three and four. I've chosen to deal with the two modules, but we'll focus on the second one because I think module three has already taken its biggest part of our preparation. So here we start with the supply and the verbs between brackets in the correct tense or form. Kevin and decided to visit a place which has always been high on our must go there. It means we always say that we must go there most of the time. In the list of destinations we wanted to go to. We love art, culture, history, and I don't think there is a city in the world that could have been more perfect than Florence. So I don't think giving opinion here it comes without saying. It's a present simple. It's a present don't think. Okay, and then we said more perfect. So there is no other destination that is more perfect than Florence. Okay, so it's a more plus comparative form plus long adjective. We booked a cheap fly. So cheap is an adjective. After an adjective, we normally put a noun. So it's a cheap flight on the internet. The hotel we picked was situated on the banks of the river Arnos. Half the pleasure of a trip here is taking your time to walk around to absorb the atmosphere. So here, half of the pleasure pleasure of a trip here is taking your time to walk around and absorb the atmosphere. During our 5 day break, we enough high quality cultural sites to keep us how satisfied. You can see that I just skipped the word the sea to make sure that I have the right tense because if these people, if Kevin and his friend really left the place and then talking about a finished action, so I should put the past. If Kevin and decided to, no, it just here are still in that destination, so we need to present perfect because when we say we eat at some fantastic restaurants, so they can, if they are still there, they can have the possibility to eat again in these restaurants, where a three-course meal cost us around 20 dollar pounds each. So here cost here is the past of cost. It's an irregular verb. It does not take any change at all. So then it's in the past. The cost of this meal. He's talking about these meals. They're talking about cost them around 20 each. 20 pounds each. There are lots of lovely cafes in which we can sit and watch the world going by. So we can and watch the parallel structure here, sit and watch. Florence was a relaxing place for a honeymoon. Was so here we got mixed up with the here on the one hand. I've got cost us is in the past. And then this is why we sometimes need not to answer or give answers before we finish the paragraph. You look and they say Florence talking about there are lots of cafes. It means the description. We use the present simple to talk about description because it's always there are always cafes and then the people can sit and watch lots of people going around. And Florence was a relaxing place for a honeymoon. So they had a honeymoon there, and then we put this in the past because they already had them a honeymoon and it finished, and they ate at some restaurants. Okay, there. Number two, so just we are going to put the words in here in the right space. Okay, so I started the correction, but I did not finish it because I had something that interrupted me. Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on board this British Airways flight to Rome. I think it's an announcement from a flight attendant. In a very short time, we're going to take what here? To take off because the plane takes off directly after loading loading it with passengers. So please, would you mind plus verb ing form? Mind fastening or mind cruising? So we've got fastening because we know that we fasten our seat belt. It means to make it tight and putting your seats in the upright position. Our flight time 2 hour one, so we will have a landing in Rome in time for lunch. If you need any, just press the button and a flight attendant will serve you. And if you need any what, any noun, anything, any here, any assistance, you just press the button. While of an altitude of 10,000 meters, our cabin will come round with duty-free goods. Cabin crew here because we can say cabin crew. They are the hostesses, the stewardess, all the staff that works on board of a plane. And then this cabin crew will come round with duty-free goods. We don't think that a pilot would come and just sell the goods. Okay, we are also handing you out some landing cards you have to fill in. The landing cards are the cards which you have to fill in the registration form or fill in a card. It's a form, okay, to fill in with information. Now we still have one word and three other remaining words. So while plus verb ing form, while cruising. What is cruising? Cruising, it is the voyage or the trip on board of this vehicle or engine, which is from the time of after landing, after taking off to the time of landing. So all of this when the plane is straightforward going to its destination after taking off. Okay. Supply the right tense. You might be forgiven for thinking that Louis Pa is someone somewhat out of his mind, particularly since he once swam in water so cold at the North Pole that the cells in his fingers burst. The extreme then went on the almost drowned while swimming in a glacial lake on Mount Everest, and more recently become the first person to swim long distances across 7 seas. Okay, so I think I should stop here and see that we are talking about Lewis Poe. Okay, he is a extreme swimmer. This man is an extreme swimmer. You know, the extreme sports, as you know. Okay, so went on the almost drown to drown يغرق while swimming in a glacial lake glacial يعني فيها لاك بالثلج Mount Everest, and more recently recently is already denoting the present perfect has become the first person to swim long distances across 7 seas. His motive is crystal clear. To draw the attention. Yeah, we draw attention. It means we just capture the attention of politicians and leaders to the destruction of the environment. So here, this man here is doing this to just pinpoint to spot the light on the problem of environment destruction, particularly our oceans, before it's too late. Lewis would like to see the number of marine protected areas in the world. Would like to see them increase. I'd like to see you grow up. Okay, here increase from 3% to 10% in an attempt to reverse the ruin caused by human activity such as overfishing. So I remember when you talked about smoking, it's irreversible. We talk about the irreversible damage. So we have together, if we are going to be aware enough about the environment, we can reverse the trend. It means we can go back to a situation better than where we are in. Okay, polluting and littering during expeditions. So this is parallel structure littering. Overfishing, pollute, and littering. During his expeditions, Lewis has witnessed his damage, this environmental damage. So talk about an adjective that mental damage firsthand. He believes that nature can recover if it is given space to do so, but the clock is ticking. It's a little bit too before it's too late. Circle the option. Tigers are the most beautiful creatures on earth. They look so striking in every way. Their size is awesome. They are much bigger than humans. So here we are talking about they are bigger than humans, but bigger, more than normal. Okay, and then 10 times more powerful. They are very fast and very agile, but the best thing is their color and pattern. I can think of another animal that has better colors. So this is a relative pronoun for animals. I also love looking at the tigers' faces because we are not looking for their faces. We are not looking after their faces. Want to look at their faces because they are so beautiful nowadays. Though I get a little sad as I always wonder how long they can. Survive. Long can they can just stay with us before disappearing? The number of tigers around the world is decreasing every year. Their habitat is getting smaller, and more people are poaching them. So they are just a poacher is a person who hunts animals illegally. There is a big danger that tigers will become extinct. We might have tigers in zoos, but it's not the same. Put the bracketed words in the correct answer form. Mary not visit her friends recently. Yeah, so recently present perfect. Hasn't Mary hasn't visited her friends recently. She usually meets them at least once a week. Her friends and work in London. Her friends live and work in London. We've got from the meaning, it's the permanent situation because when we talk about the place we live in, we talk about status, we talk about something permanent. And we've got also the parallel structure, it's and work, so live and work. She be very busy since last Monday, so she has been because we've got since last Monday. She have little work when she first moved to London 3 months ago. She had so ago here. She had little work when she first moved to London 3 months ago. If she finds some free time, she will probably be able to see everyone. So here we've got probably to talk about the future with the future simple. And then we've got also on the other hand, if here the conditional type 1, if plus present, will give us the future. Philippa Bellan and her husband Garth, born in England, have been living in Sydney, Australia for 4 years. We lived in London 10 years ago, but we not be happy there all at all because we too much time on trains and traffic jam was awful. Now we have to know that we to be happy there at all. If they are still living there, we have to say we have not been happy there at all. If they just moved from that place, we should say we were not happy. So Philippa Bellin and her husband have been in Sydney, Australia for 4 years. Okay, so now they are living in Australia. Okay, and then she opened the parenthesis to talk about something that happened 10 years ago in London, where they were not happy. So in London they were not happy, and now they are living in Australia. Happy at all because we in London that is the past, so we spent much time on trains and the traffic jam. So it's the past simple was awful. We thought about moving to the countryside, but that was too expensive. We have moved to Sydney since June, so they are in Sydney now, and they have moved. Okay, to Sydney since June. Everything is cheaper here, especially fruit and vegetables. Is less expensive. So we've got this here. The our verb is so we need the gerund at the beginning of a sentence talking about traveling is less expensive than in England. My husband and I like Sydney so much. In fact, we believe it's the loveliest because we know lovely it's an adjective that ends with y, so we should follow the rule of the short adjective, though it is a long adjective lovely, but when it ends with I it's something totally different. Now put the words in the right tense or form. Nada, I want to tell you about my favorite means of transport. That's the car. I like the car because it provides me with plus noun here. It provides me with freedom. So if you are looking for a paragraph to get some ideas about the car, you can. It's here ready for you. If you can travel by car anywhere and at any time, besides it goes faster than any other means of transport. Yeah, so I've got the comparative form here. Faster than any other means of transport, not me, no? It's a plural or singular. Like the bus, for example, it's also more comfortable, even if we don't find the word more than here, we would put more comfortable because there is an embedded a comparison, or the bike and far more safer. In addition, you can listen to music or to the radio while driving. So while plus verb ing form while driving. This is mainly why I enjoy using the car. However, it's true that the car causes pollution. Okay, it causes something, causes pollution and damages the environment. It also kills thousands of people every year in terrible accidents. Moreover, millions of people spend hours waiting in traffic jams. Yeah, how? Millions of people they spend here the verb to spend, it takes time, waiting in traffic jams. How often? It's talking about an adverb, daily. Yeah, I think the second question here. Put the bracketed words in the correct tense or form. The internet is an amazing tool for children. It helps them achieve greater tasks. Yeah, how greater tasks? In an academic way. Academically, and the exposure of information is much. So we talk when you use the word exposure now, we saw this in module 3 about exposure to noise can lead to deafness. Here exposure of information is much more for children through the internet. It brings several advantages for children, but at the same time the disadvantages of internet on a child's have come under the magnifying glass. It means they have become very big. So because we've got here a possessive case here, so we need the noun form from development. So the child's development have become, the disadvantages have become under the magnifying glass. المكبر for the first time. It means we've got shed light on this problem or disadvantages. Now we know, now we see very well what is the internet doing to these kids. Education specialists today believe that the internet may have bad effects on child's development skills. Okay, bad effects. Yeah, okay. And in a common study, it is found. Okay, so we don't mention who found this in the study. This average household children use more internet than their parents and spend longer hours on the internet, on the computer and the internet. Why did I put longer here, not long? Because we know that they spend long hours on computers, but we have in the study here they are based on comparing comparing kids to their parents. And it's a common study is found that an average household children use more internet than their parents and spend longer hours on the computer and the internet. We don't need to say than their parents again. It goes without saying. Children who use the internet more than long hours are very poorly on physical, so they are very poorly on physical development, and they are often obese. On the physical, talk about physical development as well, so mental, child's development skills, mental abilities are attacked by the internet, as well as physical development, because they become very sedentary. They don't move so much and couch potatoes, and they end by gaining weight and becoming obese. They do not go out and play games that involve physical activity. So there is no that involve games that involve. So these games don't involve any physical activity. So it has a bearing on their social skills, because children who do not go out to play do not make friends or interact. So they neither make friends or they nor interact. يعني interagir يعني فما interaction، فما حوار حديث أخذ وعطاء. Okay, this makes them have limited social skills as they grow up. Okay, thank you for watching.